Hello, DG Lovelies. This is Misha M, your geek mom, coming to you from Diversely Geek for another episode of Diversely Geek Discusses. And we are still live at Comic-Con International here in San Diego on day 5. The doors officially closed a couple hours ago, guys. I'm pretty sure of that. We are all exhausted. We're all happy, and we have a lot of glee going on over here. It's been a wonderful 2018 Comic-Con experience. I think everybody can tell you that. And I am extremely super happy to bring you this amazing panel of folks. Okay, so usually I do all the intros. I'm going to let them tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we're going to shoot a couple questions over to them. Y'all be pondering this one. How do you embrace your inner geek? So where are we going to start? We're going to start right here.
I'm Melissa Gibbo. You've probably seen me before. I'm a writer and storyteller and general chaos.
Hey, is that your official one?
Yes.
I think general chaos I like.
Everybody agree.
More like corporal punishment, but we'll go that some other
No,
time.
we're not going to go there. You call me Squirrel.
How about general disarray? I was keeping military.
And welcome to the show.
Yeah, there we go.
go.
Hi, I'm Mitch Hyman. I'm the creator of Above the Redneck Werewolf. Started the comic, and then we did the film, which did very well. More to come. Also, a couple of novels, some short story anthologies. I'm just a writer at large.
Just a writer. Police. Okay. Let's go.
I'm Zarate from Mexico City. I am an artist. I write, I draw, writer's block. I write and draw, dream for Robbins, and a lot of other stuff in Mexico. That's about it. I am a bit crazy, and in Mexico I am known as the ruler of all hell.
The what?
The ruler of all hell.
Hey, wait, hold on. You and I are going to have a little talk about that.
Do people go and sell you their souls?
Yes,
When you have a booth or a convention selling
at the
art?
supermarket.
I have people
You
selling
should see the
their
things I've had to sign, the contracts I've had to make on the fly.
No, people just come and want to be my slaves.
Children play nice. I told you it was going to be like this.
Fine.
See what we
That's
got?
That's how you can tell who the boss is.
Taking help. No, I'm getting help.
Let's
I'm tape
move
down the
it
middle.
along.
Children.
No, she's touching me. She's on my side. No, she's not on my side.
I'm not touching you.
Hey.
Right. Where were we? Oh, sorry. Hi, Mom. Get out of jail soon.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, believe here all week, try the deal. Hi, last but certainly not least, my name is Amy Zunk, and believe it or not, I am the wrangler for all of them. I am actually their editor. I've edited Melissa's work. I work exclusively with Mitch, editing his novels and comic book work, as well as recording their books, films and projects. And then Autumn here is nice touch to go, here's one of my new comics for you.
Work.
Basically,
There you
I'm
go.
the official
Let's
wrangler
go.
and paperwork.
It's good to be kept.
Yes.
I'm the handler.
Yeah, I'm nice about it.
No, I got a joke so bad that we're all gonna throw off.
Yeah,
Whatever this is.
Listen, Melissa has explained to me about the level of joking, so I'm like, oh my god. So
Oh, you're in trouble.
I'm trying to be.
The only thing to
I'm
take
trying to
seriously
be
is a
discreet.
paycheck.
I'm trying to be very discreet about this, DG, because we are a positivity organization. So
All these jokes are completely positive. Positively crazy, positively nuts, and positively a lot of fun.
There you
so
go.
there you go. It's extremely positive.
I'm
There
going
you
to
go.
positively
See?
get us in trouble.
We're all positive. The truck's gonna come get all of us.
I
soon
really
enough.
think we should take it on the road because this is a great comedy show.
We usually
Don't
do,
y'all
yeah.
agree, DG? Come on, let's get
Yeah,
out
this is
there.
what happens when you get all of us together at any eating establishment for more than 30 minutes.
So I heard from Melissa.
Yeah.
I've heard the tales, man.
It gets
There's a tendency to take over restaurants.
We've made socks and croissants hilarious.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Then they did their own dating services this one place, and we should go into that some other time.
That's at the head.
That is another show.
This is kind of gentler version.
They invented okay
Another show we're
restaurants.
going to talk about the positive side of dating shows, of dating apps. No. Okay, so
Shift left.
shift left. Ronna
It is.
turns left. Ronna turns right. We turn left. Okay, so I asked you guys a question. Are you willing to share with me how you embrace your inner geek? How you interpret that particular message and how you embrace it?
Because I've never had it being inner. It's just been me like this from the get-go. I've never hid it. I've always been this way. I was a real shy kid. I eventually grew out of it out of necessity because I had a work thing. I kind of need to talk to people.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. I don't hide it. If you ever saw my actual office that I've got, it's surrounded with toys and games and geeky things. And mine's the office that when it's bring your child to work day, they all come into mine and go, can I play with whatever? And I've had directors, I've had corporate people assist, and oh, wait, look, I came here to talk to you, but and let's start playing with whatever it is. Whether it's the chain metal hacky sack, the water balloon thrower.
She has a water balloon trebuchet.
Yes, I do. You bought me one. My Wonder Woman doll. You name it. It's not like it's an outer. It's not inner.
Right. So, and I completely agree with that. It takes a lot of people a long time to just admit that there's a geek side to it. Although it exists, we have a very firm belief that everyone has a geek nature inside of them. Just that there are cultural and social oppressions that keep them from being able to accept that. So I always, we always say that there's a passage, like we were discussing before. Once you embrace it and you have that sense of self, then you can go on from there. So, y'all feeling that?
It's also a matter of what's your definition of a geek. Because there's a definition of a la Comic-Con, which is comics and movies and this and that. There's a definition of some stuff I do in terms of computers. That's it.
Yeah.
And there's definition of I'm a geek because I like cars.
That's it.
I'm a geek because I like X. There is no real definition. It's just it's a different definition.
It's not geek, it's a passion.
It's just a passion.
It's a passion.
So we call
it's a label.
That's exactly what it is.
But it makes it easier for the mundanes to understand this.
I mean, if you
But we
love
all know who
furniture,
you
if
are.
you love architecture, if you love flowers, it's all a passion that's
Exactly.
positive. So, take that thing and then make your life happy because you embrace that thing.
Yes.
Exactly.
As long as it's positive and doesn't hurt people, that's my disclaimer. Okay.
But that's the truth.
That's it.
My mom hasn't stopped wishing that I grew up. She, since I was very little, I have been a geek, a nerd. The only non-nerdy thing I like is baseball, and that's even a little nerdy.
What do you mean non-nerdy?
It's
Come
math.
on.
It's the only sport that needs math. In my family reunions, it's usually, oh yes, the two geeks are talking about comics, let's let them. Well, now we are three, because I have a cousin that also is geek. But it's just those three weirdos, and we're going to talk about serious stuff. So yeah, I have always been very out and proud of my geekiness. I think that the worst part was in high school, when people made fun of me because I like to read Stephen King at recess, but I found a very good solution to that. Stephen King books are very good to hit people with. Oh God.
I was saying the trajectory on his throat.
It's true, especially the uncut editions. I mean, you ever seen the stand
amazing.
uncuts like
you can
this?
get at least 3 miles. I mean, his books are very good, and now that they are movies, people like to join me with it. Yes, that's right.
There we go.
That's right.
Moms, we don't advocate for hitting the people.
But yes, I was in high school at the time. It was not cool to be a geek. But now it's cool.
Yeah, this is a great new era. For me, it just simply came down to I love the comics, I love the stories, I love the movies, things like that. So I decided to really go total geek because I started creating my own stuff, got my own comic book, made my own hero, and then have geeks following my geek. Is that sound redundant or something? Is that?
It's not. It actually is very explanatory because I feel that our geekdom is extremely multi-layered. That it's fluid, right?
It's true.
And because of the fluidity, as we said, the fact is, for your family to say to you that the geeks are sitting over here, the fact is, whatever they were passionate about, guess what? It made them nerdy and geeky the same way.
Oh, no.
They just didn't
Don't make me
translate.
start about the Flanders.
I found out my father collected comic books. He didn't talk a lot about it. It was a big baseball fan thing, but my mother was the real geek of the family. Because my mother was a huge Wonder Woman fan. And I think about all the Wonder Woman comic books she cut up to make her paper dolls with. I got news for you. We could have bought, a mansion, a few other things, but it all worked out fine. Oh, the noise here in the background, basically, that's the fashion police, because they really love the shirt I was wearing today, because, it's just, it's all about the devil and everything and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's okay. You see, this is all geek. See, geek, 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 geek. We're done. We have Catwoman, Wonder Woman. We have Satan. Well, not really geeky
Well, not
Satan.
that one, but okay.
But everything's
We'll go
good.
from there.
Well, Satan is the biggest geek of all. I forgot to say, my brother in the family was with my mom's side. With my father's side, I'm a 3-generation geek. Because my grandmother was a Trekkie, hardcore Trekkie. She was an Uhura spoke shipper way back in the day. And she would explain to me, to little 6-year-old me, why Uhura and Spock were perfect together. And once for my first day of kindergarten, she knitted me a sweater that was a perfect replica of a red shirt. Yes, to this day I still wonder what the hell she was trying to tell me.
I just want to say anything was that about the red shirt.
Yes.
Were you not? You weren't her favorite, were you?
I was, incredibly.
Really?
So she
My
didn't,
brother
Then she did it to make you stronger.
she didn't give you a yellow.
No.
No, she did it to make her stronger. She knows you can survive that. She can
You could
survive
survive the red
anything.
shirt. You could survive anything.
I wanted you to be Scotty because it's the only red shirt that survives.
Exactly.
You go.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
Uh-oh.
my
Family secrets
father,
revealed.
my father, he was a Warsi. For him, it was all about the Star Wars. In fact, I was born in 77, sorry. So it was the year. He begged my mom to call me Leia. Nope, it didn't happen. So you can imagine the fights at the dining table when one channel was marathoning Star Trek and the other one was marathoning Star Wars.
Why? Was there a battle? Do they do that Star Wars versus Star
Oh,
Trek?
there always is that. Are you kidding?
Oh, I know that. But in your family, they did
Oh
that
yes, Grandma and Dad, the fights were epic.
We're the only. Okay, so are we the only family, the Mulchan clan, who actually didn't do that? Because we would just be like, we love this, we love this.
Oh, it got worse when I grew old, and I was like, can we just watch anime?
No, I've done conventions where I've opened up the door of the hotel room and in the hallway, there are Klingons fighting with stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's
So
like,
the
going,
walls of the ones that
okay, so who opened the portal and how did this all? Okay, I'm good. Close the door and just put the earplugs back in. And just let.
And then all of a sudden,
It was the
Cylon
doctor's
comes out of
fault.
nowhere and breaks the back for everybody.
You know what's really funny? Yeah, it actually happened. And he was in a wheelchair.
There you go.
And he was and all I heard was ramming speed, and he can't. I'm not kidding. This is really true. And he comes down, just bowls him over like pins. It's the funniest thing you ever saw. So the Klingons still wanted to fight. The stormtroopers scattered. So it makes me wonder who's tougher now.
They're not used to anyone actually getting hit.
Right.
Yeah, there it was.
Right?
Great. Well done, Melissa.
we all know that
2
the
points.
fight between red shirts and stormtroopers. No one is going to die.
No, they
Because-
could miss and the red shirts will still
Well,
Yes.
They
but
cancel
no
each
one
other
is
out.
going to get hit.
Yes. No one's going to get hit, but Richards are going to die anyway.
It's
They just lay down on
it's
the
a
floor.
given. It's what it is. They just might as well.
Except
you know.
Scotty.
Yes.
Except Scotty, right.
Like I said, once you get promoted to, head engineer rank,
I saw the Richard Precision team one time at C2E2 in Chicago. And they walked in, about 10 of them, they walked in, they went, 1, 2, 3, they all laid on the floor dead. And I'm looking over and like, well, that gets out of the way, doesn't it? They go, yeah, now we can just walk around and buy stuff. Okay, we're good.
my one is many, many years ago at a convention
love
called
that.
Necronomicon back in the day. This is in the late 90s. Revenge of the Red Shirts.
Which was,
You had a gentleman cosplaying as Captain Kirk and whatnot, running. Behind him, zombie red shirts with the fight music. So you have dun 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 dun, with the zombies chasing
okay,
after
I
you.
love that. That's my new favorite thing right there. That's
Absolutely
epic. That's
love
epic.
that.
That
And
is
needless to
so
say, they
perfect.
won an award that year because everyone.
You see,
the minute they
but-
won, we all were just.
But this is what
gone.
we were talking about.
my
The,
God.
giving it to the inner
That's
geek.
beautiful.
Then they take it to a whole new level and even more levels, and you see even cooler stuff. This is what it's all about. This wonderful sense of creativity. So there's nothing wrong with being a geek. As a matter of fact, if you're not a geek, I'm so sorry for you.
That's what.
I mean, you haven't
You must
accepted
just
who you
have
are.
plain white bread sandwiches and and the bologna, the bad kind, not the good, not the Oscar
you
Mayer.
have
Not
met
even
my
Oscar
aunt.
Mayer. Yeah. What's that?
You have met my aunt.
Oh my God.
Never mind. Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
We'll go segue to that. The thing is, have fun, okay? Because you know what? Life is short. just go have some fun. Anybody gives you any grief over it, just sit there and go, fine. Walk to someplace where they will accept you, which is everywhere now, which is a wonderful world.
Just be unapologetically yourself, find the passions you have, embrace them, go full out with it, and the people who are interesting will find you because they're drawn to the passion for whatever it is, for Harry Potter or Doctor Who, or comics, or movies, or books, or writing or drawing, or, you know, making medieval armor, or whatever it is. And I've been there, done that. And it's that passion for it that makes you geeky. It's the overtop, but, you know, people are geeks for the NFL. It's just, they got the special outfits for it, they get together, there's special events, and it's a team thing, they paint themselves. Well, so do we when we go LARPing.
And then they look at you, and then the fights break out.
I always remember the classic. Steven Spielberg used to take off from school with his mother. She used to let him out of school. They'd go out in the desert near their house. He'd take dinosaurs and a movie camera, and he would make dinosaur films.
Yep.
Okay, and then later on, I think there was something called Jurassic Park or something.
Yes,
Stuff.
something.
It went somewhere from there. So there's your geek. Okay, going for it.
Got a good inkling. I think that that jumps just straight into, you just gave another perfect example. That was a perfect example of transforming your fandom and passion into a positive action. Because what they did, it gave them pure joy. That, oh my God, I wasn't even there. And the imagination of seeing that makes me giggle like crazy. So, and I'll always remember that. And we see how happy that's going to make us, because now we have that image.
There it is.
Just sit there. Everything is about imagination in the long run. And if you don't allow a child who's growing up, or from conception on, to fuel that positive imagination, then you're not fueling all of the possibilities that come with being.
And also, an imaginative conception is a really cool idea.
Oh yeah.
We can talk about that with the trapeze and the outfits. What, did I go there?
Yes.
I'm glad I did.
You're outnumbered too.
Yeah.
I think that's getting edited out. So,
Sure, all the good stuff.
What did you mention? I am a recent out. Well, my niece is going to be 6 years old this month. Thing is that when she was born, my brother, who is unfortunately a joke, he told me that I was not allowed to teach my niece any geeky stuff because he didn't want her to be weird like her aunt. My niece was not going to cosplay. My niece was not going to read comics. My niece was going to be normal. I got a call when she's 2, around November. My brother begging me to help him convince my niece to get out of her Frozen dress. Because they watched Frozen, she fell in love with Elsa, they got her the dress, and she refused to take it off.
yeah.
It's a normal thing.
I would say that's absolutely
I
normal.
was Superman with a towel around my neck for forever.
Exactly.
I think we all
But
know
that
that.
was,
I actually made it to the roof though a lot.
I managed to get that
That explains
dress off.
everything.
That's the brokenness and brokenness. Okay, I'm
That has nothing to do with that. We're talking about what's under the hat, but we'll go with that some other year.
Well, that's the hammer dent. That's something different.
Oh yeah, next question. Okay.
I managed to get the dress off my niece by explaining to her that Elsa only wore the blue dress when it was an important thing. When it was not an important thing, she wore the other dresses. So my brother should get her the other dresses.
There's a great way to fill out your wardrobe.
Great compromise.
There's your need.
No, what she did, because he not only got him all the Elsa dresses that were available for kids, he got her every single princess dress. And that's when I told him one Christmas, okay, so how is that different from cosplay?
Winning.
Yeah.
And now my niece watches Fighting the Expo, watches Superhero Girls, loves My Little Pony, and loves coming to her aunt because her aunt understands. My sister-in-law has said that it's very funny because it's very easy to buy Christmas gifts for me. She only needs to ask her daughter what she would like. And that is a very beautiful thing about geekiness.
That's actually really cool.
Because geekiness keeps you young.
And it's cross generational, and that was my other concept.
I actually got her as a gift. Thankfully, she doesn't speak English, so it's going to be a surprise. I got her as a gift a bag and the pin and everything for Comic-Con because I could not bring her, but I'm going to take Comic-Con for her.
That's great you point out this cross-generational.
Yeah, I'm actually doing. I've done it in reverse. My family was very okay with me being weird. They were just like, she's happy and she's not killed anyone, so we're good. And it was, she's not in jail for murder.
Have you read her books?
She's not doing any hard.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, okay.
She hasn't run away, and she's getting good grades and being happy. Whatever. She wants to read these things or watch that or listen to it. We don't care. Just whatever. So they were very okay. You know, you want to read these weird sci-fi books and you want to watch this, whatever. Be happy. Vampires? Okay. You're gonna go role play? Whatever that is. Okay. Go have fun. I watched Doctor Who and they're like, okay, so there's BBC on something? What? I didn't know we had this channel. And it's like, no, Sci-Fi Channel has run a few episodes here and there. Elvira, whatever, she's happy. Mel Brooks, they introduced me to it. I didn't get most of the jokes that when I was younger, so
Blazing Saddles much? Hello,
but, yeah,
God.
but
That's like iconic.
Okay. Mel Brooks is my God. We'll go over that some other time.
God. But he is God. Remember?
Oh,
you
I forgot that's true. You know, I didn't think about that.
He is God.
But now we have the fun where my nephew, Leo, has gotten into Doctor Who, which got my brother into Doctor Who, which my mom is now into Doctor Who, because what little Leo wants to watch, Bubby watches. So now I'm educating them on the world of fandoms. They're like, oh, this is what you were talking about. That's what that thing was. Like, last year, I took my mom to her first convention ever. My dad went and kept ditching us to play Pokemon Go, but I actually, I know how to shop for my mom now. I can get her something Doctor Who, and I know so much more than her that I can find all the stuff she can't
There's only one thing I hope with the new Doctor Who. Please give her pockets. This is
So
ridiculous.
on.
Women's clothing, no pockets. Okay, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Give this person pockets.
Smartest man in the world.
How is she going to hide
there.
that screwdriver? Okay, come on.
If you look at the new trailer, the long jacket has pockets on
Yeah,
the
it
side,
has pockets
and
on the
one
inside.
One of her working outfits has pockets. And
Okay, just bringing that
She
up.
has it on here. She has it inside here. I was like, I love it.
There's just some things in life I just have looked at going, I don't get it. Okay, I don't care if I'm a guy or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. There's no function here. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I mean, we had an opportunity, we get an opportunity every year now with Her Universe being here, because now, I'm going to go into that a little bit. We were very lucky to get a chance to speak with Ashley Epstein this week and spend a little time with her. And, the entire concept behind her creating and moving ahead with Geek Couture was because of acceptance. Because at the time, remember 5-6 years ago, where were we going to find anything that really allowed us to be able to express that
T-shirt.
passion? Maybe that's
So that's all you had.
The men's section, the medium-sized T-shirt.
That would be correct. If you look at my drawers, they're full of men's size shirts because that's all I could get at the time. But now I've been able to adopt a completely different style for myself that I'm comfortable to bring into the workplace and my home environment. My family gets that about me now.
But that's great because when I was starting to do merchandise for Bubba and some other things I was working on, so we started putting together T-shirts. And at first wasn't. My grandmother was a tailor, so I kind of was familiar with this kind of stuff. But I started realizing that when we were ordering, some of the people I had working with me, I said, what'd you get for lady sizes? What do you mean lady sizes? They said they can wear the men's shirts. I said, really? Do you know what it's like the way that they're built and the way their shoulder and the way breasts are and everything, and try to put this undercut here and the way the sleeve is, and the way it falls?
So
I said, it's impossible. I said, plus, it'll make all the stuff we put on the front of it look dumb. And that's the most important thing because we're going to worry about my copyright, my logos and stuff. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
But anyway, no, seriously, it became an issue because I had a lot of ladies walking up to me going, so disappointed. Don't you have any ladies' shirts? I said, we were supposed to have. I said, come here. Talk to him. I would take the guys in the booth with me going, good, this is the guy who did it. Talk to him.
I have to say
They learned.
About, for example, Her Universe, I love the drawings. There is only one problem. Small problem. Well, it's actually, I'm a big lady. I can't wear any of the collection.
Well, that's being addressed. So the
Yeah,
entire,
no.
it's changing,
However,
right?
she inspired others, which is where we're going. Yes, her clothes are great, and she is addressing the issues because I know that with her contract with certain store that I'm not going to say because they are not sponsoring you, they are starting to make bigger sizes. Actually, I have one of the first in that collection. But there is another, there are no new fashion designers. There's one particular, again, not saying names because not wanting to look partial, that specializes in bigger sizes. And those exactly the geeky, elegant stuff for bigger sizes. And they are, because she has addressed that with her universe collection, they are the first people I get that understand that plus size does not mean get a circus tent, cut a hole in it, and hope for the best.
Yeah, it's pure absolute design and fashion.
Well said.
Body images.
So I was saying, the Her
say
Universe
nothing.
has this small little problem. Well, it had that small little problem when it started because they didn't have big sizes.
Yeah.
Now they're fixing it. Actually, I own a couple of dresses of their collection. But the best part is that they inspired others to start doing their own geeky designs.
What was the name of the company?
Oh, that's our point. And this one is El Hofner. They make gorgeous dresses for plus size ladies. They also have small sizes, but the designer, she's a plus size woman, and she did it specifically to make it. I do actually have an anecdote. Last year was when I met her. She had a table in an offsite, and she was wearing this gorgeous Spider-Man inspired dress, which of course I love. And she said, "Look, we have one more, but I am used that there are no cute dresses my size." Right. So I told her that I said, no, you have to try it right now. Just the fact that she said that gave me the confidence not only to actually try the dress, but to buy it. And now it's like my favorite dress to use for comic book convention and things like that, because it's so great. I could not get more of the collection this year, but I am going to because she keeps doing it.
That's amazing.
And all of them are not exactly cosplay dresses, but inspired on.
It's geek couture.
It's geek couture and it's gorgeous.
And it's a really, it's not a pet peeve, but it's a really strong point of focus for us here, because one of our main, because we've discussed that we're really focusing on self-acceptance, but mental wellness is part of a universal understanding of mental wellness. Is very important to us. Body positivity has been a personal challenge for me for my whole life, and so I have always felt that it was important to find a way to be able to embrace that part of who you are, and that geek couture and geek fashion is a really wonderful way to marry all the sides of who you are, whether male, female, gender, gender fluid. It's all a beautiful state of expressions of self.
It comes down to simply self-esteem.
It just
Allowing you self-esteem. You wear something or find something that really, finally, it fits me, it works for who I am, and that's it. It doesn't matter. Even thin people, okay, I'm fairly thin. Even thin people, we get a lot of hell over the fact of being skinny. Like, the wind will blow you away, all this stuff like that. And then you have to wind up going into, when I was younger, you stayed in the boys section until you're about 42. And it's difficult. It's all in the way we look at body and look at everything else. Yeah. But here's the best part about it. Things have changed. People are starting to get smarter about it. They find the need, they're filling the niche. Even the designers are starting to wake up to it. So it's
I just
really
had
good.
a conversation with one of the lovely designers at Her Universe, and speaking of that, I explained to him because I for some I may not have the body type that's on the bigger side, or I fall into a very interesting place. But I also spoke to them about cultural predispositions and how while something may look good on me, I may not culturally, because I've had we have to unlearn some things. I may not feel comfortable wearing something, but if they could work towards finding again a bit of fluidity from that as well. Sure. Yeah, so that a happy medium, and they really are working on that. They asked me perfect questions, and it just made me feel very, very, very very hopeful. And plus, I think they trust Ashley to be able to have that type of perspective and a global awareness of what people are really needing, right?
Well, the large sports companies, as an example, are trying to embrace that, just especially when the Olympics just came through. They wanted from a pure cultural standpoint. And I remember from Nike, they actually made, like, I don't remember exactly how they phrased it, but it was a sports hijab. So that way all people had to wear, they could wear it, be comfortable, but still be sports fashionable. I don't know, that's not the right words, but that everyone's actually trying to come up with that, and it's working. And I've also seen, like on Facebook, let's go another way, I've seen these cosplayers who are actually incorporating their cultural dress as part of the cosplay. And it's beautiful.
Oh gosh.
Oh, and it's men and women, and it's
all the
it's part
global
of the-
village. No, it's
yes.
global village because we just
Stunning.
did a panel at SDCC, and Ada has arranged that for myself and several Mexican filmmakers to talk about film across the borders. We discussed the simple fact that no, we're storytellers. We have emotions. Everybody has the same emotions. Doesn't matter what culture, whatever it is. You laugh, you cry. We evoke that in you. How we get there is how we do it, maybe culturally or otherwise. We still tell that story. And the point is to knock down the walls and become a global village and start looking at everything and everybody and start embracing it all and be proud of what it is.
Exactly.
You know, and add to the mix because you know what? That's half the fun.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love the idea that adopting a global perspective is becoming more mainstream, especially in the geek culture and in the geek nation, as I call it. Again, if you look back 20 years ago, you certainly would not have had this, and you wouldn't have had it even 10 years ago. I do feel very strongly that once we have, adopted those principles and that we live a more empathetic existence, then I think that, you know, we're going to hopefully see some of the negative things start to, you know, fall away is what we're hoping.
It will. It
Yeah.
peaks. The other thing is, I love it because my character is now distributed. The movie's distributed in Europe, but I've had the comic books around for a long time. I love over the years. I've gotten photos of people in Australia. I've gotten people in Germany. I've had people in England, and they're all dressed up like Bubba or holding Bubba stuff up, and they want to be that. You know, they want to give into their inner good old boy redneck, you know, good old bumbling dumbbell American nature. Because the one thing I really do appreciate is that they do get that, you know, they do like us still, trust me. They just think we're these good-natured bumbling goofballs. And they still know that at the core of it all, yes, we still are. But the wonderful thing is, you can find people in every culture that live outside the city, not as urban, and they all have the same foibles and everything else. It's wonderful. There is a global, unfortunately, I guess there's a global country person in everybody in every country because a lot of people don't live in the cities. And they embrace this, they understand it, and they feel very good about the fact that they're not being looked down upon, that they actually are considered, well, you know, they don't exactly have an air of sophistication, but doesn't mean they're stupid. And you'll find that out every time you travel outside the city. You get stuck somewhere, you always have that one farmer, that one innkeeper or somebody, no matter what country you're in, knows exactly where you should be going and knows how you got there and is kind of laughing up their sleeve but will redirect you.
Yeah. In other words,
That's the point.
Support your local redneck.
Support your local, yes.
Support your local redneck.
Yeah.
I live in the city. I do not have a local redneck.
Would you like to adopt one?
We have,
I have to
I've got
find
quite a
out.
few I'm
I
trying to
would
get
say
rid of,
we
to be
have,
honest with you.
we have several. Do you mind some from Florida?
I grew up
No,
in
no, no,
Texas,
no, no, no,
Alabama,
no,
and
no,
Georgia.
no,
I
no,
speak
no.
redneck really good.
You got that down real good there, here.
See, again, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. The thing is, you can see the innocence in certain things, and my character was all about acceptance because he turns into a werewolf. The whole village, you know, the whole village basically looks at him and go, "Okay, now what? You're still Bubba." Okay? That's the
beer?
whole point. You're always going to be who you are. It doesn't matter what happens to you.
Yep.
So be who you are.
So it's a really interesting thing that you yourself are. It's a euphemism in a way. You're allegorically looking at this person who everyone, you know, we all have cultural predispositions and social predispositions. So we look at ethnicity, hierarchy, finances, and we look at the world and we expect something of someone. And then you're going, well, don't expect it of them because there's more to someone than what you think
They're as
they
human
are.
as you are, and they have the same ability to laugh, cry, or whatever.
That's it.
And don't think that you're any better than they are, because I had a father who taught me a very valuable lesson when I was younger. He looked at me and said, "Mitch," he said, very simple, people are $1.98 worth of chemicals shoved in a skin bag. They come in all shapes and colors and sizes. He said, it's the a-holes you gotta watch out for. Those you can spot a mile off.
Yes, they usually wear big white helmets
No, they were all.
No, those are just the Spaceballs we saw earlier.
Oh, so
She's got a point.
not the stormtroopers, right?
Well, all hail Emperor Scrooge. What?
Oh my God.
There's a geek.
They
There's
did
a geek.
too.
He did it.
too.
So
That was breakfast.
any last perspectives from anyone? Because this has been a really good conversation.
I like the
Thank you.
three-point perspective from an eagle eye.
And I'll just call and tell
Sorry,
the
I
face
forgot.
so long and
We should
thanks for
take
the
her and
fish.
show the other side of geek, which is basically the cultural side of geek, and talk about how we're all the same, because we're all geeks under one banner. Okay, and it all looks a lot like this.
I thought it looked like this one.
Or it kind
No.
of looks like that one, or it'll look like this one,
And it-
or this one, or that
You
shirt, or
choose,
this shirt, or
choose
whatever.
what I'm saluting. Because like five...
Wait, right or left?
It depends on which one you're
And it's
saluting.
Wonder Woman or Wakanda, pick one. But just remember,
Wakanda.
it all ends with happily ever after.
Oh wait, and that one. Because we are all heroes on the inside.
And so are all you. So.
That means we
and
get
so are all of
sandwiches.
you. Yes.
Give in to your own greatness. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to rise above and take off the red shirt. We already talked about that stuff. Okay, don't be a
That's
target.
different.
Unless it's a Superman or a Wonder Woman one.
That's
That's
different.
Like this one. Woo-hoo.
Exactly. Now
So-
that's a good red shirt.